get on up in here, because today we are going to go on a hunt for a table for our sunroom. I use it as a greenhouse, but it's really a sunroom, you guys, and I am determined. So I think the problem that I'm running into, because I've went to a lot of different places antiquing, and although I've seen some beautiful contenders, the problem is the size. The scale of the table just is not right. In my sunroom, I have 2 chairs, and I want the table to come up a higher, more like a bistro style kind of like table. That's what I'm looking for. But I also wanted to have an antique edge. I really don't want anything that's going to be modern. I want it to fit with my style, the flow that I have, the aesthetics that's currently in my home. I want it to flow and extend right out into the sunroom, and from the sunroom extend right out into the garden. So I'm definitely not going to be shopping at some of those stores that's more trendy, because right now what is on trend is more modern. So if you're looking for the type of table, the style that I'm looking for, an antique store is the perfect place to start looking. So that's why I have been going antiquing, I have been thrifting, trying to find this beautiful table, but I have not come up with anything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go ahead and just go to a store and buy new. I want to start off at Carol House, and if I don't find anything at Carol House, then I'll go ahead and I'll go to other stores, because I'm quite sure that I should be able to find what I'm looking for there. So come on, you guys, let's go shop. So of course we didn't find anything inside of Carol House. But what I'm going to do is we're going to make a real quick stop into World Market. Now, in the past, I have styled different rooms in my home from items from World Market. They kind of have a lot of, you know, items that you wouldn't necessarily expect to find there. And that is why I think that we might have great success at World Market. So let's hop inside, see if we have a table, and then from there we'll go ahead and head back home. Guys, this is perfect. So let's go ahead and grab a cart. So we screwed the base of the table onto the top, and then we came in and we screwed the feet to keep everything steady. Now we just got to flip her over. I like the height of the table, because if I'm sitting down, I can easily enjoy whatever I need in this space right here, so it's perfect. I like that the marble top, it has those hues of tans, those hues of cream. It still has the white underbase, so it definitely fits in with the room. Because we have this dark brick here, I don't want to come in with too many more dark pieces. I want the pieces to be more lighter. I want the pieces to actually help brighten up this space. That's the goal that I'm going for. The base of the table is black with some white accents. I love it. It's beautiful, but I definitely might come in and I might paint the base to fit with the flow and the aesthetics of the room. Eventually, I am going to go in and I am going to be moving things around in this room a little bit more, so that way I can get the flow down just the way I want the flow to be in this room. This room definitely is a work in process. I do have some myrtle topiaries here behind me. This one, and then there's also one right there. They flank the doorway. I am going to be pulling them out. Reason being is they are definitely not doing well. They look like they are on their last leg. Now, that's more so user error. I should have pulled these out maybe even a month before I pulled them out. Now, before I removed them from the garden and moved them in my sunroom where they have been being housed since then, they were actually outside in the garden. They looked absolutely beautiful. What I should have done is I should have prepped and prepared to bring these girls in. Now, recently in one of our videos that we put out, there was two myrtles, two evergreen topiaries that I pulled out of the Lion Fountain area. So in that area, I had a total of 4. I absolutely love the look. I more than likely will be going in and repeating that same look. I feel like when you find something that works, do not shake the boat. So I know I'll be able to get my hands on these next season, but I am going to go ahead and pull these out. These Eugenia are actually evergreen, and they get up to like 20 feet high, like an insane amount. So they're not supposed to turn. They're not deciduous. There are some opportunities for cuttings. So I am going to take the cuttings off of this tree, get these out of here, and then I want to show you guys the topiary collection, because you guys, I'm starting to get quite the collection of tabletop topiaries, and I am absolutely obsessed. Start with pulling these out first, then we'll move on to the topiary. You guys, I'm so excited because I really just feel like this room is just starting to take a shape of its own. So I was kind of debating if I wanted to use these pots right here, and I am almost 70% sold on them. I actually am going to brace myself from using these only because this is part of a set. So I have these containers here, this like a urn, very beautiful. You can easily just come in and flop a small flower in them. So I don't think I'm going to use these, because for my topiary, I want my topiary to be more like a permanent planting. So if I go ahead and I commit to using these urns to my topiary, then what that means for me is that I'm either going to have to replace these or just bring the third piece out seasonally as part of the set. Here's the third piece. The reason why I bought the 3 pieces is because if I want to line like a small table, like here, here, and then have the other urn on the opposite side, it would be very easy to do such. You know, sometimes you don't necessarily always want a big, huge container on your table. Sometimes you want something more small and more intimate. I'm going to put these back, and then we're just going to use some regular terracotta. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab just some plain terracotta pots. foremost, I have this lemon cypress here, but I got it grump tree from one of my colleagues. So what I immediately did, this was actually wrapped all the way up. So what I immediately did was I went in and I took all of the wrapping off around it. It had like a little cheap little Christmas ornament on the top of it. So I went ahead and I took that out. Now this does come inside of a container, but it's stuck on the inside of this bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to pop out this tree right here. I have these beautiful magnolia leaves that I have left over from one of the arrangements that I was doing. I'm going to work these magnolia leaves into a beautiful floral arrangement. But first, before we do that, we need to make a quick run to the grocery store, and I want to pick up some flowers for our arrangement. I'm sure they're going to have something good. If you don't have access to a wholesaler or have your vendor's license so you can walk around inside the wholesaler, and sometimes they have a minimum price that you have to spend in order to go in, the grocery store or your local florist will be a great source for your flowers. I'm also going to go ahead and design a fruit bowl, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's elevate our look. We're going to prep the water. So I'm just using the same container, the same design on the side here, and we're using it in two different shapes. It's really going to elevate our look as we give our layered look with our floral arrangement and our fruit bowl, you guys. The first thing I did when I got home is I went ahead and I popped these into some water. Clip the edges. I've showed you guys that before. I am going to clip all of the edges again. And sometimes they may get another cut while you're working with them. But I typically take off all the lower foliage for my roses. Although I enjoy them in the garden, I don't necessarily use them on my indoor arrangements. You guys, this is a beautiful flower. Gorgeous. Different tips and tricks that you guys can get to have your roses last a very long time. And although my vase is small here, my arrangement is going to be on the weighty side. We're going to do this arrangement really quick. going to go ahead and prep my floral food. So that way, while I am de-leafing these roses, it'll have time to set in, because you want it to be well mixed. You don't want it to be concentrated and put your flowers in there. You want to try to get the best vase life ever. Go ahead and I'm going to clip my roses, and you can cut them at an angle, however you want to do them. I did leave some of my leaves on with my roses. And if it's anything that looks like it's bruised, like any type of bruised wood, then what I do is I go ahead and I cut that out. I'm going to add my water to both of these. A leaf fell down in there. And so for our frog, we're just using chicken wire, you guys. I hate to use my pruners for anything besides wood, but I gotta get this done. Kind of just take it and just kind of just bend it on up. And just place it inside of your vase here. Now this is going to be really easy to do, you guys. Same thing here. You can also take it and roll it in a ball. I do that sometimes too. It is a globe shape. It has the legs on it, and I pull this out. I change my stuff out often in my kitchen. I like to have arrangements. Let me go ahead and dry this out. Dry it the best we can, and I'll address the fingerprints a little bit later. So I'm going to start to build my fruit in here. Nothing real special. I just like to put it in there so when they want to go in and enjoy some fruit, they can get to it easy. I have my pomelos, my apples. I actually can add some more fruit. I like to leave the spout on my pineapple. And I'll go in and I will add the rest of this fruit here. Alright, and so what I'll typically do is I'll take the leftover fruit and I'll put this in the other fruit bowl here. Sometimes I'll set the fruit bowl here and then have the arrangement coming, but you know what? I'm liking having the fruit bowl here so it can easily be reached. And then I'll have my arrangement just like that. Just these little simple things like this is ways that you can take and elevate your lifestyle and elevate your look in your home without doing anything out of the ordinary that you wouldn't normally do. I'm going to bump this up, move it far out here, move this right here closer to the arrangement. Okay, now one of the things you can do, you can go in, let's do that. Let's see how that looks. One of my videos, we painted these sticks. So when I paint them, I like to do a few of them at a time. So that way when I need them for arrangements, they'll be available. Only thing I'm doing now is I'm just going in and I am adding some fruit. Alright, so you just put the fruit in there. Now we're going to add the rest of these fruit inside the arrangement here. All right, so now we're done.